Hey everybody, Brock Freddy here, helping you enjoy your ride. In today's video, we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the 2024 Nissan Murano SL. I've really enjoyed this vehicle over the few days that I've had it. We're going to go over the inside, the outside, and the drive, and I think you're going to enjoy a look at this more affordable option than some of its competition maybe. It's got great technology. It's got a fantastic look. I love the look of the outside. But before we get started, I would like to say a huge thank you to Impex Auto Sales in Greensboro, North Carolina for the opportunity to film this Murano. I'll be sure to leave all of their contact information, including their website, in the description box below. I really like the look of this Murano, where a lot of manufacturers are going for a more boxy look, more of a rugged, kind of way of doing things on the exteriors of their vehicles. The Murano looks like an absolute bullet train. Everything about it looks sharp, and it looks like it all comes to a point right there in the very front of it. The LED lighting system is wonderful with that silver trim way down below, and then another big V-looking piece of silver trim on the front grille. You have the cool Nissan emblem that has the white outlines to it. It just has a really cool look there in the front. Everything, like I said, is very sharp. You do have sensors that are going to beep when you get too close to things. That's your parking sensors. You also have LED fog lights, and then, as I mentioned, the LED headlights, and those are automatic dimming, and they work pretty well. I do like the wheels. This is the SL model, so it has a little bit of an upgrade wheel. It's not the platinum, not the top trim, but it's got a ton of equipment on it, a lot of nice usable driving aids and safety aids and technology things that are really nice without having to get all the super high-end stuff. So it's really dressed up. The tail lights here sit kind of high up, and I gotta admit, there is a lot going on here. You see this trim here, and then you've got trim here, and then you've got the tail lights. There is a lot of chrome trim on this thing. I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. Even the door handles, and then you have a chrome trim scuff plate, but somehow it works. It works pretty well. The dual exhaust tips, and then you've got another piece of silver here. Look, I mean, there's even chrome here, but then there's a brushed silver look here, like a slotted brushed silver look. And then everything is like real kind of bulbous. You see how that sticks out right there? It just has a cool look to it. It looks like it's going fast even when it's sitting still. Let's take a look here at the rear of it. So there's a little rubber button here, and as long as you have the key fob on your person and the doors are unlocked, you have your power rear lift gate. It is a 5-passenger, so here are your split seats. It has a pretty decent amount of room. Look how wide that is here. You see how wide? So you can get lots of things in the back of the Murano. And then here is the way you close it. You can, of course, close it with your key fob as well. And you also have a backup camera right there. And again, there's that Nissan emblem that's got the white on the inside of it. Murano SL, this one is the all-wheel drive variant as well. Into your back seats. And I gotta say something, and I'm probably gonna say it more than once. The seats in this Murano are the most comfortable seats I think I've ever tested in a vehicle. And these are the back ones. These are also heated, and you can see here are your controls for PowerPoints, but also heated rear seats as well. That's a really nice touch on a non-luxury vehicle. Center armrest with cup holders and storage there, and then of course you have a little lever here that you can pull, and that is going to adjust the seat back for you as well. And then the seats do fold flat to give you more storage area for the rear of the vehicle. Stitching here on the armrest, that's very nice. More silver, and then like this kind of brushed metallic look here on the inserts of the doors there. Let's take a look under the hood at this peppy little 3.5 liter V6 engine. Here is your 3.5 liter V6 engine that gets 260 horsepower. It has a tow capacity of 1,500 pounds, and it's mated to a continuous variable transmission. Nissan has been doing CVTs just forever, and this one is pretty refined. It does pretty well. This one has all-wheel drive. It has a curb weight of right at 4,000 pounds. And it's peppy. I really enjoy the V6. It's got a little bit of an engine growl, so it's a little bit sporty feeling there. The response is good, and there's really very little delay whenever you hit the accelerator. And I imagine as long as you maintain it well, it's going to take care of you for a nice long time. I do also love how that there are no arm props for the hood. It is sitting on these arms here that are hydraulic. That is fabulous. That's kind of a nice little bit of a luxury touch, I gotta say. Good job on that, Nissan. Now, for a little bit more on the exterior, I just remembered that it does have a complete camera surround system. So you have a camera here, and then you have a camera up front, I do believe. You have obviously a camera in the rear. Yeah, there's your camera in the front, and it's directly under the Nissan emblem there. And it's got a cool little overhead view for your, whenever you're in reverse. But gosh, I gotta say that the resolution of the camera system is just pretty bad, just to be honest. LED turn signals integrated into your mirrors there. That's a nice little touch there as well. Now, as far as your key fob situation, this is going to be your key fob. You can see at the top is remote start, then lock, unlock for the rear tailgate right there, and then for the panic alarm. Now, the remote start works brilliantly. This is one of the best working remote start systems, and I'm glad it's from the factory. It's not something you have to pay for extra. You just have to pay for it once, I think, as an option, and then you lock the doors, and you just press and hold, and then boom, she fires right up. That is a great remote start system. Now, I'm a big fan of the interior. It's really, really nice. It's actually got a lot of luxury touches. So let's take a look at that now. You do have memory seat settings, and that is to memorize your custom settings for your seats, and also your switches for your windows. Automatic one touch on the front windows only, mirror controls here, and of course more chrome. I don't see why not. Stitching here, and it looks just like it does on the rear doors. And then here is your zero gravity seat. And I don't know exactly what zero gravity seat means, but I think it's like from what I have found, there are 14 different points to where the seat keeps you from slouching. But aside from that, this is the most comfortable seat I do believe I've ever experienced in a vehicle. The seat bottom is just so squishy, and it almost feels like it has memory foam in it. The bolstering is wide and it's open. It definitely is not as supportive as, say, like a sports car, but look how soft that is. And I hope it maintains this softness throughout the life of the seat. But my goodness, that is such a comfortable seat, and I would have no problems driving for hours in this seat. It is absolutely fabulous. Right here in front of your left knee is going to be a lot of cool settings, including your heated steering wheel, traction control off, your power rear door, and then your safety surround system, or your safety 360 or something like that. That's what Nissan calls it. And then this is going to be for gauge brightness. Let's hop in and take a detailed look at all the other buttons and cool things. So here's an overview, a quick glance at the cockpit here. Everything is really easily placed within reach. The start button has taken me some getting used to because it's down here, but that's not a big deal. I do like how that it looks like your knee. It's got a place for your knee. That's nice for taller folks. This one also has the Bose sound system, an impressive little sound system. You have a lot of controls on your steering wheel, which we will talk about on the left and the right side. Analog gauges here for your tachometer and your speedometer. Then of course you have a lot of digital things there in the middle. And then your infotainment system all right here, and that is very user-friendly, nice and simple. Then you have climate controls down below that. And then in the center console here's your gear shifter, and then heated seats there. It's a nice interior. You can see how this brushed look goes all the way and it kind of wraps all the way down and around. That's got a good look to it. There's the extremely comfortable passenger seat. And then this one also has the optional pano roof. That's a nice touch. Makes it nice and open feeling for your rear passengers. Sight lines are nice and big. And it does have a few blind spots there in the back, but as far as your blind spot warning, it's right there integrated into the interior of the vehicle, which I'm a huge fan of because it's easier to see. It's not just some little itty bitty icon right here in the very corner of your mirror. It's more of a light right there on the inside of the pillar. And that is a fantastic way to do the blind spot monitor. It's neat. I just noticed that this represents, it's kind of like a duplicate of the way the front looks of the grille. So that's the interior overview. Now let's take a detailed look at some of the buttons and the features. Over on the left side of the steering wheel at the top, you have audio controls, voice controls, Bluetooth phone controls. Down below that is a pages icon, and that's left and right. I'll show you that in a sec. Source, that refers to your audio source. Volume control right there, and then this is going to be for your cruise control options. And of course you do have radar cruise and everything like that. So over here on the left with that pages icon, you can see here left and right. I'm going to be pressing left and right on that icon right now. So as I press right, it has different functions. You can see on the bottom right down here in the orange, whatever is highlighted in orange is what is showing. So there's our compass along with our speedometer, and then to the right is going to be audio, another compass, driving information, fuel economy and whatnot, and then average fuel economy, driving aids function, speed limit sign. That's pretty neat because you've got a camera system that can recognize street signs, tire pressure, no items, and then settings. Settings is right there, and we're going to press OK. And now you've got all kinds of driver assistance settings, vehicle maintenance, and all that. TPMS is tire pressure monitor system. So going back up to here, I'm just going to press OK for driver assistance. And then lane, pressing that. Lane departure warning, that's actually off right now, and I just turned it on. Actually, I'm going to leave that off because it's nice. I haven't had to mess with that while I'm driving. So we're going to go back now. Blind spot monitors on, speed limit sign, parking aids. That's the sensors in the bumpers that that beep if you get too close to something. So these are going to be all kinds of different little settings, and going back and customize display, vehicle settings. So that's how you get to the settings menu, is going to be from right there, going over to settings, pressing OK, and then all right there. And I did all of that with this OK button here, and then with this left and right button there. So let's take a look at this whole big center display. I like the layout. The things that I like about it are how easy everything is to use. Everything is very self-explanatory, and it's not overly complicated. You have selections here, and then down here on the touch screen. Now, things that I don't like about it, really there's only really one thing that I don't like about it, and that's the fact that it looks pretty dated. The most dated thing about it is when you put it in reverse, that backup camera system, it looks like it's literally a camera off of a flip phone. I mean, it's got cool technology, because you have the overhead view, and that is a fantastic thing to use for parking lots, to make sure that you're inside the space correctly. You even have your little guidelines that have dynamic, so it moves and everything. But man, it's just so old looking. And I think actually I'm looking in the camera view, and it looks better in the camera view than it does in person. It just looks so almost like pixelated. So that's one thing. Yes, you do have a backup camera and a cool surround camera system, and it's functional, it does work, but there are other manufacturers that just make such better camera systems. So whenever you go to the menu screen here, this is what is displayed, and you can customize all of this. So you can press the arrow and you can see customize home menu. You have a little analog looking clock there, and then you can go here and see all kinds of different other screens. And it's also, you can swipe or you can press the arrows. A nice little thing here is that Nissan pairs with satellite radio to show you all kinds of different information, and then you can actually just press into that and see your 5-day forecast if you want to. So that's neat. So that's going to be for here in Greensboro. The other thing neat that's cool too is you've got XM traffic, nearby traffic info, and then you've got stock prices and you've got fuel prices. That's actually pretty neat. But that's all menu under your menu screen. And this is actually what comes up automatically. Call history, that's via Bluetooth. Search POI, point of interest. But then you can go phone, and then you've got a quick menu here, all kinds of different things. And then you have your info screen, that's all your XM stuff, including vehicle reports, where am I? And this is all great technology. This is stuff that's actually on a lot of the newer vehicles that I've seen that have, you know, fantastic, fancy looking nav systems. But this one just looks old, but it's really not. The layout of it is just kind of old looking. I don't get it. This definitely does not look updated. Of course, you're probably going to be using your phone a lot to do destinations and everything, but that's something else. Then back to menu, and you can go connections, and this is going to be Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. This one in the 2024 model does not have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and I think for a 2024 model, my goodness, that is something else that you don't actually have that. You do have USB and Wi-Fi, and then you have settings right here, and these are the settings. This is kind of what I recommend doing, is going to settings whenever you first get one of these, and you can actually customize the way you want your layout to be from this settings screen. And then you have your climate system down here, and for your climate system, again, nice and easy to use, self-explanatory, dual zone climate control. You can push it for auto, push it for dual, and that will allow the other person or the passenger to control their own temperature, or you can do that and it syncs both of them right there. Start button is here, your gear shifter is here, and you have a button there on the front, a little bit of storage, and then cup holders back here, of course. Here's a quick U-turn to give you an idea of the turning radius. It's not actually that great. I don't know why, but the turning radius is kind of big, honestly. This is one of the most comfortable vehicles that I've driven in a long time. It starts from the outside, and I know that sounds weird, but the ease of use of the remote start, it's not through an app. You don't have to pay extra for it. It's just on the key fob. You hit lock, you hit remote start, and it works. I've actually been testing the remote start for the past few days in this thing, and I've been in a store in a mall with the car way away from me, and I've just done it just to see, having no idea if it works. And then I get outside, and man, it's running and it's warm inside and the heated seats are on. It's like, holy cow. So the remote start, number one, is just fabulous. And I think I've already said that once, so I'll quit saying it. As far as this seat is concerned, I know I've said it before, but it is nice, and it's firm, but it's squishy at the same time. And it's not squishy to the point where it's uncomfortable. It just feels great. And I think it may be in combination to Nissan's zero gravity seat technology that keeps you from slumping, and has 14 different points that I don't know, but it is a crazy comfortable driver's seat. The way the steering wheel and all of the electronics and everything are, how they are laid out in the cabin, everything is very within reach, and that makes a big difference. I really enjoy the proximity of how everything is inside the vehicle from the perspective of hitting buttons and making selections. The Bluetooth technology, the way it works, on a lot of vehicles, when you have your phone paired to the vehicle and you're listening to audio, and it when you get into the car and you start it, and you know, it takes a while for the Bluetooth connection to happen. And this thing, it is instant. And the Bluetooth technology, the efficiency of the Bluetooth technology in the Murano is wonderful. It's really, really good. I would say for the backseat passengers, because I have driven with backseat passengers in it, their experience with the vehicle as well is wonderful, because the back seats are heated in the SL model, and the back seats are comfortable in the same way that the front are comfortable. However, since this is a smaller SUV, it's the Murano, there is a little bit less room, but still it's got enough. It's sufficient. The road noise, there's a decent amount of road noise. I wouldn't say that there's wind noise, but I would say that there's road noise, and it comes from the tires. So there needs to be more, maybe inside the wheel wells, more sound dampening materials. But the road noise, there's a decent level of that. Right now I'm going 65, and it doesn't feel like it. It feels like I'm going much slower than 65, honestly. The radar cruise control, it's good. It's kind of complicated to get it activated, though. There are many other systems, especially the Toyota and Honda radar cruise systems, that are really easy. They're almost like 1 and 2 touch. This one takes several steps, and it's pretty difficult, honestly, to do. I think once you get used to it, it's going to be a nice experience. But man, making it actually work, it seems like it takes several steps. You can probably see on the video right now what the cabin looks like as far as lighting on the inside, and it's great. I love how the windows are, especially with the optional panoramic roof. This is the interior of it really feels open and airy, and it's got a great feel for it. The continuous variable transmission is a good one. I have no issues with it whatsoever. As far as when you're at low speeds and it downshifts and you need to kind of speed up, it's very smooth. Of course, a continuous variable transmission, by the nature of it, is smooth, but the response is nice. The response of it is really good. It's quick and it's efficient. There's not a lot of lag, so there's no problem with that. The engine power is totally fine. I really enjoy the power of it. I like the fact that it's a internal combustion V6. It's not a hybrid, although I think a hybrid version of this would be wonderful. But this is a ICE engine and V6. It's got all the power you're going to need, and I like the way the engine sounds as well. It's got kind of a throaty, kind of a not aggressive, but it's got a powerful sound to it as well. As far as braking is totally sufficient, not a problem there. I haven't even thought twice about it. Of course, you're going to be driving this thing just around town, running errands. You're not going to be whipping it in and out of all kinds of crazy stuff. But all right, so all the way to the floor. There you go. That's all you can ask for. Cornering is pretty tight. There's decent body roll. The other thing that I noticed about it is the steering is firm in a good way. It's responsive. It's not super loosey-goosey. On a lot of Toyota models, it feels like there's a lot of play. In this one, it feels a little bit more European as far as the steering input is concerned. It feels really, really good. The Bose sound system, really nice. I really like the placement of the speakers, and the sound is crisp, it's deep, it's powerful, it fills the cabin well. It also distributes the sound and the feel of the sound throughout the cabin well. It's a nice sound system. The automatic high beams in this thing are not the best. They do work, so but they are almost a little bit too sensitive to not working when there are no other cars around. So you can almost, if you didn't know that it had automatic high beams, you'd be like, it's not really doing the high beams up a lot. And I mean, that's kind of a good thing because you're not blinding people a lot, but at the same time, you want to be able to take advantage of the high beams when no one's around. And there seems to be, at night, there seems to be a pretty big delay of the vehicle automatically kicking up the high beams whenever there's nobody around. It takes a while. I am more sensitive to that because that's just such a cool feature. So my top 3 favorite features of the 2024 Murano. Number 3, the exterior look. When a lot of manufacturers are trying to go to a real boxy look, Nissan is sticking with that sleek bullet train look, and it works. There's a lot of chrome, there's a lot of angles, but it just looks really good on the outside. It looks sophisticated and luxurious. Number 2, all of the luxury features on the inside of this thing. Bose stereo system upgrade, heated rear seats, and just the appointments are really, really nice for a vehicle at this price point. But number 1 might surprise you, the seat. This thing is stupid comfortable. And I know that sounds ridiculous, that my number 1 favorite feature of this vehicle is the seat. But that makes a huge difference because it's basically where your entire body is when you're experiencing a vehicle, when you're driving a vehicle. And sometimes when you have to drive 4, 5, 6 hours or more, that seat makes a huge difference, and this thing is money. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for our look at the 2024 Nissan Murano all-wheel drive SL. I like this vehicle, as you can tell. Again, thank you to Impex Auto Sales for the opportunity to use this Nissan Murano. And remember, the most important thing of all, everybody, have a wonderful day.